Are there a bunch of questions, Mike?
I'm checking right now. I don't think I don't know the last time I posted something, so we'll
You did
see.
like the other day. There was some
Oh,
questions
did
in.
I?
Yeah, there was some questions in the Not Our Finest Hour
Okay,
account.
I'll take a look. Archive. Did you enjoy fruit and veggies from the Horn of Plenty for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, a lot of corn.
A lot of corn.
Ate quite a bit of corn. Yeah, love a good corn. How about you, Mike? Did you enjoy from the Horn of Plenty?
There was no Horn of Plenty on our table.
No,
No, but we did have turkey.
but there was no vegetables.
Well, there was no Horn of Plenty. There was definitely vegetables.
But there was no Horn of Plenty.
No.
Could you have AI'd a Horn of Plenty?
Okay, I am seeing no questions on the last one.
No, there was some in there. Uh, Oops.
And then I can check voicemails too.
So what here? There's two here from the last 30 days. Oh, there's a whole bunch in here.
Is there?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
what
where
are
you're looking.
Chad's done from his ribs? I'm just scrolling back in notifications.
Okay.
What is the breaking point? Oh, is Chad back? Chad, are you ready? We're on to some questions here. Are you
That
ready,
for me?
Chad? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Okay. Omar Sheriff 22 responded to your question sticker with, what is the breaking point when you decide to walk from a job? When the client brings up the C word, court?
Why is the client bringing up the C word?
I don't know. Not necessarily their contractor's fault. Could be
Yeah.
the homeowner's fault. I can honestly say in my life I've never walked from a half finished job. I usually just I've had some bad clients and some bad experiences, but I've never been to court over a project, and I've always just gone to the what do I need to do for me to leave here and for you to never call me again? And I'll just do those things. And then I never want to hear from you again, never call me, never talk to me, and we'll just part on you wanted it done this way, I did it, and that's the end of the story. That's how I've always left it. How about you guys?
I've never been sued or never went to court. But
So you use the mic, you use
yeah,
The Chad version of what do I have to do to make you happy
yeah.
so I can leave here?
Whatever, we'll do it your way. That's fine. I'm just not coming back.
Yeah. Mike?
I've never gone to court over a project either. I don't think I've gotten to the point where I've had to tell them that I don't want to ever come back. What do I need to do? But maybe up until that point where I don't know. I've never had to discuss not having to see them ever again.
I guess so. I guess in theory, I have three projects right now that are in some kind of lawyer phase. They're for a different reason, and it wasn't necessarily those clients, but even in all three of those cases, I finished jobs and I even went back and did the deficiencies because I felt like when it went to court,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be able. Now they're a different scenario. I don't know if this is a residential or commercial scenario, but in my scenario, they were commercial jobs, and I went and did the deficiencies and I did everything that I was supposed to, so that if it went to court, I could say, "Hey, I'm at my end here." You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if it's residential, I usually just say, "What the fuck do I need to do for you to never call me again?"
Yeah.
Question number
Put your
two.
pride aside
Oh,
to get paid.
put your pride aside.
So will you actually tell that to the client, both you guys,
I have lots
that
of
you'll
times,
never
not
want to
lots
see
of
them
times.
again?
Oh yeah, I have
Yeah.
not lots of times, but I've absolutely said never call me again.
I ghost them after that. Get the job done the way they want it.
That sounds like what I
Anything
would do.
after that, and I will not respond.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, no, I just tell them to go fuck yourself after we're done.
I've said that this is the last change that we'll do on this project for them.
yeah. I did this job for this lady, and she was a giant. See you next Tuesday, and She like was after the job was done, she asked for a breakdown of the price and stuff like this. And I didn't respond. And then she sent the check, and I never cashed the check. I just like, I'm gonna rip up this check so that this lady never has a reason to call me again because I didn't take the money and the work is done. And I can
Why did she want to break down afterwards?
I don't know, because the neighbor had a landscape job done and they said the river stone only should have been $150 instead of $650 or something like that. So it's I'm just happy to be finished with it and a clean conscience and never have to go back there.
Question number 2. Thomasic Lawn Care 14. Fuck, you wouldn't think there'd be 13 other Thomasic Lawn Cares, but I guess there is. Like, maybe it's some kind of a fucking franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know. 14 of them seems like a lot.
It does.
Like, don't I just if you were if you guys were stranded on an island together, who would get eaten first?
That's a good question.
I feel like I would
get eaten first.
Yeah, I'm
Is
old.
there
Slow.
No other source of food on this island?
No.
Because I know your diet, DK. I don't know if you taste very good.
Pretty confident I would get eaten first because I'm old and slow.
Your diet.
I feel like you'd set up some landscape booby traps though, or something. And
would you know that you'd be the one to get eaten and you'd set up traps?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying from experience, I would take you two out before you take out me.
Ooh.
Potentially. You've seen more stuff than we've all seen.
How soon would this happen? As soon as we, the moment we crash land somewhere? Or does this take a little bit of time?
I'd like to hope that there would be
some sort of peace for at least a couple hours.
Yeah, like at least we would check out the island together and say, man, let's hope there's some berries somewhere on this island. We wouldn't all just land on the island and be like, this is hopeless. Let's kill each other. There's no choice. We literally just watched ashore. Slaughter. I feel like I would get eaten first. I don't know about you guys.
This must happen during our plane ride to HNA this week.
I think that Chad would get eaten last because Chad's the hunter. I've well established I have no use for hunting in this life.
Not in your area. Well, I'm sure there's.
Why you think I want to go hunt in your area? I don't want to hunt anywhere.
People go all over the world to hunt.
I don't want to do it anywhere.
Well,
I don't want to go into the jungle or the forest or the desert or the sea and look for things to kill and then drag the dead things back with me to wherever the camp is. Like, I'm props to you, man. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not how I want to spend my vacation. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I understand that the people are killing cows so there's meat in the supermarket. I'm not delusional. I understand that death must occur for me to eat. I'm just saying I don't think I have a problem killing something either. I don't think that's an issue. I feel like my problem is the amount of time and effort it spends to go into the forest and find shit. And I'm so fucking fat and lazy. I don't want to do that on my spare time.
Yeah, I can understand that. There's a lot of time sitting there doing nothing too.
And then you miss.
And you can't even talk, right? It's not like fishing where you can go out.
No, it's not like fishing.
Yeah.
If you're hunting turkey, you can call the turkey. That's it. You can't really talk to your buddies.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like fun to me either.
Oh, but wait, when the animal comes out is whenever everything changes.
Right? Is there ever times that there's no animal that comes out?
Yeah, 99% of the time. If you're deer hunting, 99% of the time you see nothing. Turkey, I got a 50-50 there, but deer is.
When's the turkey season?
Spring. May?
Oh,
So this is the part. So you go out, you slaughter a turkey.
Slaughter.
Perfect. Or whatever, shoot it. I don't know. How do you kill a turkey? Arrow, gun?
Shoot it in the shotgun. You aim for the head.
Okay, so you shotgun a turkey in the head.
Yeah.
Now you got to pluck all the feathers off this bitch.
No, you don't. It's not like a.
So what do? Just eat the turkey with the feathers on it?
No, you cut open from the sternum and you breast it. Some people will eat the turkey legs, but they're fucking tough, man. Like they spend their whole life walking and running. So like a lot of times you're only breasting the thing. And you get two big chunks of breast meat out of the thing. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's a fairly quick dressing. Like if you're only breasting it, it's a 15-minute max.
Hmm.
Goose hunt the same thing. Like you're just breasting the geese and yeah, that's
What if you want the liver for a nice pate?
well, you could there are tons of people who take all this stuff, right? Um, you absolutely could, but dressing a whole turkey I don't think takes more than maybe half an hour.
Still seems like too much. You know how much dressing goes on when I'm in the store? I don't even go to the store. Someone else goes. I don't do anything. None of that stuff has to happen for me. So I think that's why Chad would survive because he's willing to do the dressing on me. I think I have more good meat on me than just the breasts. My legs don't do much walking, so they're not that tough. Don't go for the ass meat because that's from sitting on the truck seat or the operator's seat. The ass, like you don't want that. That's the tough shit. You don't want to eat them.
PK, what kind of suspension do I have on my truck? It's an airbag truck, but it's also springy as shit. Is there
You'd have to
air
send
over
me.
spring? Is it like what's? It's not a block suspension because it's way too soft of a ride.
Yeah, but do the bag? Can you dump the bags when you dump it?
On one of the trucks, yes. The other one, I don't know. I've only ever dumped it once,
So maybe it has rubber block.
but it's way too soft of a ride. Like I know there's airbag suspension, but it's still springy. Like you're driving down the road with a full load and your foot is bouncing up and down on the gas. It's so
Oh yeah,
springy.
that's
Like,
part of the truck driving experience.
and my worker's looking at me, he's like, this is ridiculous. It's like, can't you keep your foot still on the gas? I'm like, I can't help it. It's
Do you have air in
bouncing up
the?
and
Yeah,
down.
do you have air in the seat?
Yeah,
That's your problem.
that's a problem.
You got to dump
Air in
all
the
the
seat is
air
a
out of the seat.
problem.
Yeah.
Well, then I'd be too low to the ground.
I don't know anyone that drives with air in the seat.
Oh, I drive, my forehead is touching the roof just about.
Oh, I don't. None of
I
our
got to
drivers.
be up high.
None of our drivers. Cody puts air in her seat, but Christy has no air. Christy, you can't even see her head. She's got
I
no
don't know
air
how
in the
you guys
seat.
do that.
Darian, I know. I got the seat buried
I
down.
sat in Darren's seat there.
Naz,
It's like you can't
Tony,
see a single thing. Man. There should
Nags.
be a law, I think. If the MTO climbs up in your truck and they can't see anything, that's a ticket. Like, I don't know how you guys do it.
I don't. I don't. I hate having air in the seat.
Oh, I
I
love it.
fucking hate it.
Oh, put me as high as it can go.
It drives me nuts. I
Really?
can't stand it. Yeah, I've tried it because just like I was like, oh, maybe my body would be less sore, or maybe it would. But I feel like super weird and awkward, and I feel like you can't brake properly, and
Hmm.
I just
That's the
fucking
opposite
hate
how
it.
I feel.
I fucking hate it.
Huh.
If I'm backing, so the truck that I drive regularly is like a 2006, which is right when they brought out a lot of the emission shit. So it has this like stupidly huge muffler on the passenger side, and you can't see around it when you're driving normally. So if I'm backing in somewhere and I need to see that side of the truck, then I have to put air in the seat so I can see in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm just driving down the road and I don't need to see that side of the truck, I don't worry about it. I have a convex mirror. I can see enough.
Hmm.
You ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Kyle.Ainsley, and this is the original, not like 14. F550 versus 10-ton single axle for landscaping. Boom.
10-ton single axle. Oh, like a loaded
Talking like
heavy
I
specs.
guess maybe a Hino or some kind of Peterbilt or something.
Uh,
Maybe your 750.
yeah, that would be, I guess, like a 10-ton. Um, what are you
So,
trying to do? Are you?
well, just for landscaping. You have
But
both kinds. You're an expert
I,
at this. You have
yeah, they
both
do.
kinds of
They
trucks.
do vastly different things, though. See, the
But if you could only
550
have
is,
one, what would you have? That's more the question here.
I'd go F60, F650 Pro Loader probably. So that's the big body style on regular 550 size tires. A little more weight. And you can dump into it with a mini skid steer. That's the biggest thing for having 550s is the mini skid steer can dump into them.
Yeah.
The mini skid steer has a harder time dumping into the 750. It'll still do it, but you can't fill the truck the way you would 5-ton.
That seems reasonable.
But that being said, I would like to add another heavy single axle truck. I think they're cool. Nice to have. You can float an 8-ton around with them if you need to.
Like an
That's
F550,
no, like a 750.
750.
Heavy single axle, yeah.
I don't. So I've been around lots of like F550 kind of trucks that were Dodges, and I've been around them. So I've never. I guess when I first started, we had one 10-ton single axle that I drove for a bit. I agree with you. If I could only have one, I would. Well, if I could only have one between the two, I would probably have an F550.
Yeah.
Because the other one is you have to have more specific stuff to load it. And I remember all that from when we had it. You're right. It's got to be, and also the sides of it didn't pull down, and
Oh, you got to have the full down sides.
yeah, so you couldn't put like skids in it. And,
Yeah.
but,
Got to have full down
so
sides.
I think I'm 550. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'll say 550 there.
We were doing a job with my partner, and one of his guys was on my site, and we were leaving that site to go to a different site. So he said, Gary, just load up your truck with mulch, and I'll meet you at the next site. And he goes, You mean a load of mulch in my pickup? And I'm thinking, why the fuck do you have a pickup truck? And my partner's one of those guys who has like 3 or 4 or 5 like regular pickup trucks. And we only have one for the entire company because everything else is a dump truck. I'm just like, all your pickup trucks seem pretty useless, other than getting people around. They can't do much. All our trucks go to work and they're capable of working every day. So,
We have 4 pickup trucks.
yeah, I know. And you said, wait, you commented before on how much more you would like a little dump truck, or did you?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think there's some validity to your commentary.
Yeah. I suppose you could put a dump trailer, but we
We
neither one
have
of us
two.
have dump trailers.
We have two dump
Yeah.
trailers.
Yeah. So in my situation, you could say, "Oh yeah, I'll just put a load of mulch in the dump trailer behind the truck."
I think one of the reasons we maybe don't have a lot of little dump trucks is I have 3 bin trucks and 17 bins.
Yeah. That's
So, but on the flip side, those oftentimes they're busy doing things that aren't helping our projects.
Yeah.
Because our projects would always be usually the last place for a bin to go. They would get bumped down the list quite a bit. So, uh, I've been toying with the idea of getting rid of a couple of the pickup trucks and investigating a small dump truck. I really want a cab over if I was getting one though,
yeah.
just because I think they're awesome. I don't even know how practical it is, but I just think it's fucking awesome. So
Isuzu is the only one who makes them now. Hino doesn't make a cab over.
oh, they don't make one anymore?
No, but no, apparently they couldn't hit emissions. So
Oh, okay.
now Isuzu's the only one in the game.
Next question. Charvel Luxury Outdoors. Is this week fucked already?
Chad?
Yeah, it hasn't started off on a good foot, but
So did you intend on working all day today and then got shut down with rain?
I would have worked all day today. Scott was a little less than impressed because the weatherman predicted a little bit of rain and we got a little more than a little bit of rain. So instead of having a miserable employee all day, we got done the important stuff. And I said, you can come back tomorrow and do this when it's not a holiday. And I came home and he unloaded his truck and went home and set them up for success tomorrow. So the week is by no means ruined yet.
Is this week fucked already? I feel tomorrow we're starting a job of our own. 2 jobs we're starting tomorrow. One is both jobs I feel somewhat unprepared for. And we're gonna roll the dice and hope after the weekend things go well on Tuesday. I did fill out the schedule. I did write notes in the schedule. I feel deeply like if people read the schedule, they'll see the notes.
Do they know where to park this week?
I have not updated the parking situation. Did not update the parking situation by any means. I was at the yard on Saturday, and it was weird because it was the first time I think in almost forever that everything we own was actually back at the yard.
That's a good feeling.
I hate it.
Yeah, well, I guess it means you're not making any money with it, but
Yeah.
I just love seeing all my shit together. Like that to me is.
I feel like I agree with that part of it. It was nice to see it all. But I also looked around and was like, man, why do we have so much fucking shit? Like, there's so much shit at the yard. I'm like, why do we have so much fucking crap? Are we using all this stuff? Like, why did we buy it? I was just like, we have so much, like, but then I look at stuff and we have 2 7-ton tag trailers. And someone actually messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to sell one of those 7-ton tags? Well, one of them I wouldn't sell because it's basically brand new and it's a great trailer. And the old one, every time I look at it, I think to myself, what's this trailer worth? $2,500, $3,000? And then what if I need this trailer? I'm gonna go buy a new one for $12,000 when I had a perfectly good one here that I sold off for $3,000. Why would I? Even with the big tag trailers, Christie's and Darian's, like the 20-ton tag, it doesn't move much, but when it does, we really needed it.
Yeah.
And so a new 20-ton tag is probably $40,000, $45,000. And
Easily.
I have $10,000 wrapped up in the one we have when I bought it before the pandemic. So whenever I look at this stuff, we have 2 dump trailers. One of them has a water tank in it, and we used it to power wash equipment in the yard.
Nice.
Because so the hoses don't have to stretch all over the place. And do I really need that? I don't know. But if I sold it, what's it cost to get a new one? $10,000?
Yeah.
So I own that one. What if we only use it? What if we use it 6 times this year in an absolute emergency? Was it worth keeping it?
I'm not a big keeper of things. Okay.
I am. Well, I'm saying in a practical business sense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm keeping it because I have some kind of religious connection to it. I'm saying that what if I wake up one day and I have to have 2 7-ton float trailers and I've sold one for $3,000. And now I'm like, fuck, I got to go find one, buy it. It's going to be like 12 fucking grand. Or if I buy another one for $3,000, this one I've actually repaired everything on it. Brand new floor, brand new cross members, brand new tires. Like, am I going to buy someone else's $3,000 one that's a total piece of fucking shit? Like, it's easier just to say, okay, I'm going to keep that and keep certifying it. And I don't know.
I still like having new things. Like I would absolutely love a Freedom tilt deck. So I would get one of those 7 tons, get rid of it, and get a Freedom tilt deck. I feel like that would do it for me. I'm
Yeah.
constantly flipping out old shit. Like we got rid of the backhoe and stuff. But yeah. I want to get it gone before the headaches begin.
It's a
How do you,
trailer, though.
how do you
Yeah.
decide on that, Chad?
What, a tilt deck?
No, when you're gonna move on from a piece of equipment, change it out.
When it starts to look ugly.
Yeah.
Like overly ugly, like rusty and yeah, and like this or bunch of dings in it and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we can get rid of that and get in something new. Or if it's starting to give headaches.
Hmm.
I think we sold our Bobcat, knock on wood.
Did you rent it out?
I rented it to, the one guy, and it came back with the door off it. So I'm like, great, they broke the fucking door. And then he calls me like, oh, we never run it with the door on. The guys are coming to put it back on. So yeah. So it made us $500 that day. And then we got a hit on it from some guy in Manitoba. And
There's no skid steers between here and Manitoba.
I don't know what the reason is. 47 grand for the thing. So finance should go through this week for the guy. And they're buying it through like a Ritchie Bros. So I don't know what their finance rate is or whatever. But someone called me from Iron Planet, which is an affiliate of Ritchie Brothers or something like that. And they're like, oh, the finance has to go through us or something like that. And then we don't pay the tax because we collect the tax on your behalf or something. Like, no one has ever collected tax on my behalf in the fucking 12 years of my business. Like,
If your
what's
business
going
sells
on?
something, you have to collect
Yeah.
the HST.
But there's like a whole form online and stuff like that. And I'm like, before this thing leaves the yard, I got to put this through the accountant to make sure that's fucking legit. Because as a reseller, apparently they have to do it or something like that. I'm like, this sounds fishy.
But your business has to collect that HST.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
You have to
anyway,
collect the
yeah.
HST.
Yeah. So, and I asked another buddy, goes, it sounds fishy to me. I'm like, well, I also sold tobacco to Egypt. So,
But did you get did they pay the HST?
yeah, they paid the HST on that.
Well, then that doesn't matter. Then that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. The second it starts to get stinky, I'm going to pull the plug on the deal, but we'll ride this thing out and see how it goes.
It seems like well, I mean, Iron Planet is a big website.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
obviously
real deal.
maybe there's some legit reason that they collect, because he's not buying it from you, he's buying it from them.
Yeah.
But they're buying it from you.
They're buying it from me.
So they should give you the
But
HST.
And then they should collect the HST as well when they sell it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's going to go through the accountant, and he's going to look into it. It's another reason we have accountants. So,
but maybe they collect it and pass it on to you.
I don't know.
Like they're saying you don't have to collect it, because if Ritchie Brothers sells something at the auction, they collect the HST from the person and then they pay the person. You know why they're doing that? Because they're charging. You're charged. Well, what are you charging for it? 47,000.
Yeah,
they're probably charging 50,000. So they're going to collect
I don't. Because I don't know.
They just might be getting the financing deal.
They might be getting the finance deal, is what I think. See attached tax document, Canada Revenue Agency.
This should be the CRA episode.
Yeah.
Episode CRA. Holy fuck.
Oh, it's because it's sold by an auctioneer, technically. And apparently there's goods sold by auctioneers. An auctioneer who sells goods by auction or on behalf of a person who owns the goods, i.e. the owner, is considered to have sold the goods to the purchaser. Furthermore, the sale of the goods by the auctioneer is either taxable or zero rated, even if the owner would not have been required to charge tax to the owner sold the goods directly to the purchaser. The auctioneer, not the owner, is responsible for charging and accounting for the tax on the sale. Of course, if the sale of the goods is zero rated, such as the sale of cattle, the auctioneer does not account for any tax. Well, I'm not selling cattle, so
So they're just being the middle person without adding any markup to it then.
yeah, but there's
Well, the
probably a
the
markup on the
auctioneer,
finance side of things.
Well,
Right,
the
exactly.
but auctioneers always get paid by the buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a premium, right? So they could be charging a buyer's premium. So they're not only financing this thing for 47,000, they could be charging a 5% buyer's premium plus getting the
Yeah,
like
Ritchie Brothers does
that's
that.
what happens at auctions, right? They
Yeah.
charge a buyer's premium. I think the seller pays a premium too at Ritchie, but I'm not 100%. I've never sold anything there. Apparently, we've established that I never sell anything on this episode. So, next question: how do you guys pay yourselves? Weekly paycheck, owner draws, or quarterly?
I'm
I like this
salary,
question.
so I take a weekly salary.
I have a weekly salary, and so does Kelly. We get
I
paid
have
weekly.
bi-weekly. Yeah.
So you take a bi-weekly salary?
Yeah.
So we all take a paycheck.
Same thing.
No one's doing like an owner's draw or a
I'll do a bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So depending on the year.
Yeah, no one pays me, so I don't have bonus at the end of the year. I think if more people paid me, I'd probably maybe do a bonus structure. I'd not 100% there. So the sticker for this question was whoops. Oh, how much was the landscape daddy bill for clearing his land? And Hillsview Contracting guessed 40,000. But we established like an episode or two ago that it was 26,000, Chad?
21,000.
21,000. Oh, a little bit too much. The next response to that sticker was 21K oppression, 30K in freedom monies.
It would be the opposite, though, wouldn't it?
I feel
Freedom
like
money would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Would be cheaper.
Hallscape responded to your question with a sticker of 42,000. So Tyler,
see, none of these guys have the wrong price.
No.
They just don't have the right price, if you know what I mean, right?
I had an interesting. So here's when you know someone's busy. Tyler from Hallscape and I do business. We bring gravel bins. We dug a pool for him. So one Friday he called me and was like, "Can I drop my dump trailer off in your yard for whatever reason?" And I said, "Sure, whatever. I don't care. Come drop it off." So he came and dropped it off. I said, "Just leave it on the north part of the yard because that's our section." But his staff confused the north part and the south part and left the dump trailer on the south part of the yard, the south part of the yard is all the owner of the yard's stuff and his friend's shit and people that come. You know what happens when you have a yard? People are just dropping stuff off. Yeah. So that was a brief conversation between me and Tyler, and I hadn't really thought about it much. Then, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, the owner of the yard called me and said, "Whose dump trailers in the side of the yard there, the south end of the yard?" And I said, "I don't know." And then I thought about it and said, "Oh, wait, that's my buddy's Tyler's dump trailer." He said, "Oh, okay, cool. I don't care if it's there. It doesn't make any difference to me. I just want to know whose it is." I said, "Sure." That was 2 weeks ago. Now Tyler just called me on Friday. He's like, "Hey, I think my dump trailer is still in there." I'm like, "Bro, it's been like 4 weeks. Like, dump trailer been in the fucking yard. So you're gonna have to come get it." But that's when you know you're busy, when you lose track of your dump trailer. You're not 100% sure where it is. M&K Landworks guessed 27.9. So currently they're close. Beyond the Lawn, 38,250, 38,240. So this perhaps is Chad's wife. Her response was, "I guess $3,000" when he asked me.
He did. I'm like, "How much is this for?" She's like, "I don't know, $3,000." I'm like, What?
The
Do
three
you
of
have
them.
any idea what kind of business we do? Like, what kind of money we make? Like,
Yeah. Wow, a lot of people respond. BJ Cook 13, $37,000. iShoon 40. So this is ISCHOON 44. The first 43 people grabbed up all the iShoons. So I had to go to iShoon 44. Like 35,000. Aaron Don Landscapes gets 47,000. Josh Newhouse won. He was close to being the first Josh Newhouse, but just got fucked. Same as me with the Paper King. 575. New Leaf Ottawa 24,765. That's pretty fucking close.
that's pretty close.
That's pretty
Tyler,
close.
Tyler probably does more of that sort of work than any of these other guys.
Potentially, yeah. Timberwood Landscaping, $487 per hour per machine. That would have been more than what it was.
Yeah.
Justin Hamlin, 870. Wow. Can you imagine being
$870?
no 800 and it's Justin Hamlin 870. Can you imagine being the 870th Justin Hamlin to sign up for Instagram? Like you nothing about that makes you feel special as a person. Like he was 27,000 freedom dollars. So what's a freedom dollar worth compared to an Canadian impression dollar?
Was it like $1.40, $1.30?
$1.30.
$1.30. Long pole 21, 38,000 in freedom dollars. So that one's high. Jay Fitz 7, 36,500. Nathan Hartlob 99, 69,000.
Wow.
With a smiley face. So I think that was more a reference to the 69.
Mm.
Hey, and our friend from Mainstream Landscape started following us
Nice.
a week ago. And that's the end of the stuff that was in here in our thing. So did anyone call with any?
There's no voicemails.
What topics do you have on the go, Mike?
I got a question for you guys.
Sure.
What's the craziest thing you've seen happen while you're driving? And I ask this because I think it was last year that triaxle got jammed underneath the freeway bridge while I was driving. And then last week, a truck carrying a bunch of new vehicles, a bunch of new trucks that had tonneau covers on them. I was driving. It was in the lane next to me. And one of the tonneau covers came off one of the trucks and slammed into the triaxle right beside me on the hood and then the windshield. And it did quite a bit of damage there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you pull over and stop?
I didn't because there's a cop right behind us. So
He
figured
pulled
he
over.
had, yeah.
You figured you couldn't help out with the situation?
Yeah, I don't think I could have helped with anything. Last 2 years ago, there was a triaxle engulfed in flames on the shoulder. And as I was driving by, I handed them my fire extinguisher
As you were
for whatever that will help them with. But it was a blaze. It was wild.
Wow.
One time, in terms of being surreal, I was driving down an 80-kilometer road and I was going east. And there was a car coming out of the driveway on the north side of the road going south. But the road is just a road and there's just a driveway. There's no crossroad, nothing, right? He's just coming out of the person just coming out of a driveway. And, you're just expecting them to turn right and go west, as they're coming out of the driveway. And except that person didn't ever turn and just drove into the crew cab because they were looking at the radio and had taken their foot off the brake and weren't looking up and were just going straight across the road. And they caught the crew cab just behind the where the dump box and the end of the second door is on the driver's side. And then we were towing, the truck was full of sod and we were towing a skid steer. So the truck jackknifed when the car hit it. and then the skid steer was pushing us down the road, but we were faced the wrong way driving. The hydraulic tank that the car clipped was spinning in the air with hydraulic fluid going everywhere out of it. And then we ended up in the ditch faced the wrong way with the float still going the other way. We'd had the truck for, I think, 4 days when this happened.
Wow.
And the toolbox, it was one of those trucks with like a short dump body, but a toolbox right behind the cab. It twisted and went through the back window, and we were covered in the glass that shattered. It was all over us. So we got out, and everyone's freaking, obviously. The police showed up. There was no one to do traffic control, so I called one of our other trucks. This was back on those Mike CBs. The other truck came, hooked onto the float, and towed it away. A tow truck came and towed the truck away. Well, all this was going on. The woman got charged. I didn't get obviously charged with anything. The environmental cleanup people came. So me and Jonathan, that had been in the truck, were covered in glass. We're still running traffic control. And then they did all their cleanup stuff, and that got finished. And they came and towed our truck away. And then the cop said, "I'll see you later." And he got in his car and left. And then me and Jonathan were left standing at this crossroads. There was no one around. I was like, what the fuck just happened here?
Nice.
This woman drove into us, destroyed our truck, fucked up our whole day. The police never brought anyone for traffic control. So me and John we got the signs out of the truck, and we're running traffic control in our vests. And then everyone drove away and left us at the corner, covered in Jonathan was cut. I just had glass all over me. He was actually cut from the glass, bleeding. And we're just standing at the corner. And I called the old boss and said, "Hey, bro, like, can you come get us?" And he's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Where the truck got smashed." It's like, "No one took you guys to the hospital or anything?" I'm like, "No one gives a fuck about us."
They're landscapers. They got this.
Dirty fucking landscapers. So that's probably getting abandoned after our own accident was sort of like, to me, that was the epitome of being a landscaper right there. I guess that was something weird that happened to us. I've never trying to think of freaking all kinds of weird stuff happens to Christy. She'll send me them on her dash cam. From her dash cam, but that one's probably the weirdest thing that happened to me.
I got nothing to compete with that. We've been pretty fortunate.
Oh, I have another accident story. I don't know if we've ever told. I think I've already told that one. When I got in the big, huge pile up on the highway, and the T-bars went through the tailgate and through the windshield of the Eagle Talon. You guys ever heard that story?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
figured.
Early
we
in the
talked
podcast. Yeah.
That was a crazy story too. That happened to us out on the road. I don't know. I haven't had that many, I guess. You see these videos of cars just no. I think, Mike, that your burning triaxle there's definitely a winner there. I feel like that's a pretty good one.
We were driving.
I still think the triaxle getting lodged under the bridge was the most surreal thing I've seen.
Oh yeah, for sure. That would have been crazy.
We were driving actually Thursday of last week, and we're in the new tandem, first time out on the road, and we were pulling out of. We're in the bush, and there's where all the farm fields are and everything. Like, we're taking the back roads up to our job site, and this semi had just been filled with grain. I'm assuming like he just pulled out of the field with a load of grain, and he was probably going 80, 90 clicks an hour. And a couple of the wheels on the drop axles just started violently like gyrating. Like they just came out of a washing machine or something like that. And everything was smoking, and I'm just like, holy shit. And he was coming towards us, but we were going by him, so he was pulling over just as we were going by. Like, that was pretty wild. But I don't know the dynamics of those things, like what
Spiff
I'm assuming they were spiff, yeah. But
that used to happen to Christie's axle. It would just fall randomly.
And then just start
because
shaking everywhere.
Yeah, it hits the ground and it's not to speed. It fucking
yeah.
It'll bounce all over the place.
Yeah, it was crazy looking.
It's
We made it out alive.
you guys just zipped by and kept going.
Just zip by and kept going.
Fuck
Someone
that
else's
trucker.
problem.
Fuck
Yeah.
that fucking trucker.
It's like someone else's problem. What am I gonna do anyway? I know nothing about Smith axles or how I could make this guy's day any better.
I guess if you have you guys seen the video where someone had a rock truck and they drove into a bridge
With a
And
rock truck.
it's a rock truck on a drop float,
Oh.
like a drop deck float.
Yeah.
And the rock truck is in the bridge, like it's like half
In
the
the
bridge is
bridge.
gone. Yeah, like the rock truck wasn't like an inch too tall; it was like 3 feet too tall.
Ooh.
And the bridge is destroyed, and the rock truck's destroyed, and the guy who's driving the rock truck standing there, and someone's making a video of it all, and he's like, "That bridge was too low. That bridge is just too low." Like, it never occurred to you that maybe the rock truck was too tall? Like, fuck,
The bridge is just too low.
that bridge is too low, man. That bridge is just too low.
So at my yard, whenever we're leaving, we have the 8-ton with the boom curled in, and it's still pretty high. I don't think it's 13.6 is your max.
13.6, yeah.
13. So it's definitely not 13.6, but it may be like 12.6. But we have these not power lines. What's lower than power lines? Like telecom lines or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody has tied them up. Like, they're definitely too low, but somewhere in the last 30 years, someone has climbed up there and tied them to the wires above them so that it makes sort of like a W and it leaves enough room
You should go see-
for these machines to go underneath it. I don't know who did it. And I don't know if they should maybe look into getting these things raised a bit. But I definitely remember
Your 8-ton won't lie super flat either because it's got the
the tilt
rotor
rotator, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to push down on the 6x6 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a little piece of dunnage there to
Yeah, I think
fold
for
it
the
in.
14 tons, Darian has to use 2 6-inch blocks
Yeah.
to keep them off the ground. And then they're only like,
Just a little bit, yeah.
oh yeah, they're like missing the ground by like an inch. And every time I'm always like, man, if those blocks ever let loose and that
You're gonna
fucking thing
fuck that
hits,
thing up,
that
yeah.
thing will be so fucked. Like just absolutely fucked up. But
Yeah.
those things are just a menace, man.
Yeah.
Menace to society, basically. That's what those things are. All right, so there's about 8 minutes left to get 2 episodes here.
Oh, is
Somewhere-
there?
Yeah, it's 5:09. So let's go with what's your favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner, Mike?
I think we talked about this before. Stuffing for me, personally.
Stuffing.
Yeah.
I
It's
like.
the stuffing for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm like our house is like very like 2 people have celiac, so there ain't a lot of stuffing. I'm gonna go with mashed potatoes and gravy. I like to eat. I like food you don't have to chew, man. You know, if all you ate was mashed potatoes and gravy, you know how much energy you could save with all that chewing? Chewing is overrated, man. Absolutely overrated.
I like a good chew.
You like a good chew.
I like a good chew.
White meat or dark meat?
Oh, dark meat.
100%.
White meat.
Ah, no, it's dark meat. You don't even need the gravy and let it slide right down.
People
So
who
I-
like white meat like well done steak.
That's the thing.
Probably yes. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I like a well done steak. I like a white meat.
We're doing something new this year.
What's that?
Well, we're doing thanks ribbing,
Thanks
Ooh.
ribbing.
and that's what I'm going to eat as soon as this podcast is done.
You're gonna go eat the ribs.
I'm going to go eat the ribs.
How long
Or-
are the ribs on the smoker for?
They've been on since 10 o'clock this morning. So
Ooh.
Did you
just
get them?
about.
Did you get them up to temperature?
And
They're
we're
ready
good.
to go.
They're ready to go. They're ready to be consumed.
Let's let Chad have his Thanksgiving rib.
All right, rib
I think
fest?
we be good with 5
Thanksgiving
minutes
rib
short. Yeah.
5 minutes short. All right. This is the end of the podcast. Bye.
Thanks, guys.